need money. Give money for money. You ready? All right. Am I pausing, Logan? All right. King G Israel for amazing. Thank you for you. Thank you for your voice and your breath speaking to us today. We give it all to you. We will do whatever you ask because we know you do things for the care of other. You're not capricious, but you work out for the benefit of for all. Because when we look to you, focus our minds on your character, on you, we in the world are better. We are at peace because we don't have to try to contrive control. So we look to you, Yahweh, today. Thank you for the revelation of your Son, King Jesus, who took death on the cross to make it so that we don't have to fear death. We don't have to fear, we don't have to try so hard to make the most pleasurable life, but we can make the most caring for the other life. We do know that after death, you will rise us all up. And that's when we'll be one with you. We'll be in joy with you. And we'll be cultivating the world with your wisdom. All the adventures that we long for will be realized. Amen. Last chance to take the Torah and the prophets seriously. 2 Kings chapter 22 to chapter 23. Josiah was 8 years old when he became king, and he reigned 31 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jedidah, daughter of Adah of Baskath. He did what was upright in Yahweh's eyes. He walked in all the way of his ancestor David. He did not turn right or left. In the 18th year of King Josiah, the king sent Shaphan, son of Azallah, son of Meshullam, to Yahweh's house, saying, "Go up to Hilkiah, the senior priest, so that he may weigh the silver that has been brought to Yahweh's house, which the guards of the threshold have collected from the people. They are to give it into the hand of the workman appointed to Yahweh's house." Hilkiah, the senior priest, said to Shaphan the scribe, "I have found the teaching scroll in Yahweh's house." Hilkiah gave the scroll to Shaphan, and he read it out. When the king heard the words in the teaching scroll, he tore his clothes. The king ordered Hilkiah the priest, Amakam son of Shaphan, Akbor son of Micah, Shaphan the scribe, and Asaiah the king's servant, "Go inquire of Yahweh for me and for the people and for all Judah concerning the words of this scroll that has been found. Because great is Yahweh's wrath that has flared against us, because our ancestors did not listen to the words in this scroll by acting in accordance with all that is written concerning us." So Hilkiah the priest went with Ahikam, Akbar, Shaphan, and Asa to Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shullam son of Tekvah, son of Harhas, keeper of the vestments. She lived in Jerusalem in the Mishnah quarter. They spoke to her, and she said to them, "Yahweh, the God of Israel, has said this. Say to the man who sent you to me, Yahweh has said this. Now I am going to bring trouble on this place and on its inhabitants." All the words of the scroll that the king of Judah read out. But because your mind softened, you bowed down before Yahweh when you listened to what I had spoken against this place and its inhabitants, becoming a desolation and a belittling. And he tore your clothes and wept before me. I also, for my part, have listened, Yahweh declaration. Therefore now I'll gather you to your ancestors, and you be gathered to your great tomb when things are well. Your eyes will not see all the trouble that I'm going to bring on this place. They took the message back to the king. The king sent and gathered to him all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem, and the king went up to Yahweh's house. Everyone in Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem were with him, as were the priests and the prophets, the entire people, young and old. He read in their hearing all the words in the covenant scroll that had been found in Yahweh's house. The king stood by the columns and sealed the covenant before Yahweh to follow Yahweh and keep his commands, declaration, and laws with all his mind and soul, by establishing the words of this covenant that were written on this scroll. The entire people stood by the covenant. The king ordered Hilkiah, the senior priest, the priests of the second order, and the ones who guard the threshold, to bring out from Yahweh's palace all the implements made for the master and for Asherah and for the entire heavenly army, and burn them. Verse 4b-24 details Joshua's destruction of all improper forms of worship in Jerusalem and in Bethel and elsewhere in Ephraim, and his proclamation of a great Passover celebration. So, unlike his fathers, he dedicated his mind to Yahweh, serving Yahweh. And he has called all to do likewise. But nonetheless, it seems like doom is written for the inhabitants because of their waywardness. But what happened during Josiah's time? Because he has set his mind and heart towards Yahweh. Being the principal of a seminary occupied the middle 10 years of my time as a professor. I had felt no desire to be in that position, but once it became clear that it was the right thing for a time, I realized it gave me opportunity to push the seminary in the directions that I thought were important. Though pushing is different from talking or driving in that it requires some cooperation or at least not too much resistance. I had to win the seminary's willingness to go in the direction I pointed rather than thinking I could force it to go where it did not wish to go. For instance, it's easy for a seminary academic life and its life of worship and prayer to live in separate compartments. I wanted to encourage the development of more unity among them. As an ordinary professor, I could act and argue and model to that end, but being the principal gave me more power to influence things. Josiah finds himself in that position. As his grandfather Manasseh had been to negative ends, indeed, Josiah's reformation chiefly involves undoing his grandfather's radical interventions. Manasseh had also been a kind of reformer. He reasserted the traditional religion of the land, the religion that maybe most Israelites had practiced over the centuries. As a reformer, Josiah had to be a great innovator. This involved abolishing the high places, which have been a part of Israelite religion throughout Israel's history in the country. Sometimes there were places where Yahweh was worshipped. Sometimes there were places where Israel worshipped other gods. The same applied to the Jerusalem temple, but if you were a king who wanted to make sure Israel was worshiping Yahweh and doing it properly, you were in a position to make sure it happened in the Jerusalem temple. It would be virtually impossible to control what happened at sanctuaries all over the country. So Josiah closes them down. The story is most specific about the innovative nature of the Passover celebration he proclaims, which was unlike any other that had ever been celebrated in the country because it was focused on Jerusalem. When Israel was flourishing, it would be impractical to say that people could worship God only at a sanctuary from which many people lived hundreds of miles away. By Josiah's day, Israel has been cut down to Judah, and Judah has been cut down to the size of a country or two. So requiring people to come to Jerusalem, at least for the festival, becomes a more practical possibility. The Torah scroll that both scared and inspired Josiah seems to have been some form of Deuteronomy, at least when you compare what Josiah did with the content of the various parts of the Torah. You get most matches with Deuteronomy. The Torah is not just one piece of teaching. given to Israel before the people reached Canaan. It brings together several versions of God's instructions to Israel as these were given via people such as priests and prophets over the centuries in different contexts. So we can learn a bit about the origin and background of these various versions of that teaching by comparing them with the ongoing story of Israel's history. The linchpin for understanding that process has been the way Josiah's Great Reformation seems to be the moment Deuteronomy becomes a living force in Israel's life. We do not know whether it had been gathering dust in the corner of the temple for a year or a decade or a century, but this is when it comes to life. It wasn't simply the discovery of the scroll that stimulated the reform movement. The discovery happened as a result of work on the temple that Josiah had already initiated. Maybe politics and faith come happily together for Josiah as they came unhappily together for Manasseh. Whereas it would have been hard for Manasseh to resist Assyrian pressure, and it was tempting for him to match his religious policy to the political pressures. Assyria is now in decline, and one action by Josiah could imply doing the right thing by Yahweh and asserting Judah's independence. Nonetheless, commissioning the work on the temple does bring Josiah more than he bargained for, unless, of course, he had himself argued for the scroll to be hidden behind the air conditioning system, as well as copious instructions about loyalty to Yahweh and how that is to work out. Deuteronomy incorporates hair-raising warnings about what will happen to Israel as a consequence of doing the kind of things the community is doing in Josiah's day. In the first instance, it makes Josiah go and ask the prophet what action to take. This may seem a bit odd because Deuteronomy incorporates pretty clear implications. The casual way the story refers to Huldah indicates that it takes for granted the activity of female as well as male prophets. Huldah has temple connections, and if she was involved in the ministry in the temple, this would explain the fact that Hilkiah will go to her rather than someone better known to us, such as Jeremiah. The combination of reading Deuteronomy and consulting Huldah stimulates the making of a covenant. Deuteronomy is the great covenant book within the Torah. Strictly, the chapter records the remaking of the covenant, as the covenant with Israel's ancestors had been remade at Sinai and in the plains of Moab. The event recorded by Deuteronomy itself and in the land of Canaan when Israel got there. A little like the unusual covenant in 2 Kings 11. It involves God, king, and people. Usually God takes initiative in covenant making, but in a context like this, Josiah knows they need to take some action. He knows he needs to make his commitment and also that the people need to make theirs. His privilege and responsibility as a leader is to embody a proper response to God in his own life and then use his influence on the people so that they make the response to God. So you have, what did Josiah found in the temple? Or like one of the priests? Right. And so, what's interesting is as a proper leader, of the Israelites, is he is supposed to embody proper worship and also call other people for worship, right? All right, Fred, we can start. Okay. Check your emails. Next thing I know, Logan's staying up all night, hitting the slots machine.
Cerberus just doing his job.
And, that's the end of my report this time, madam. Should you have any questions, please don't hesitate to summon me at any time.
I shan't, Odysseus. Although there is one further matter that I wanted to discuss with you, and rather quietly.
Certainly, madam.
Nemesis, for all the time you used to spend on the surface, surely there was something there that made it worth your while.
Oh, there was. Mortals like to reach beyond their means, thinking they're just like us. I'd sniff them out and put them back in their place.
Put them back in their place? By punishing them in some inventive fashion, I suppose?
That's right. We all should get what we deserve. No more, no less.
But don't mortals already have ways to ensure justice is served? Like my father did?
Sure they do.
Again. Chaos.
This trial has been difficult, and yet we reattempt.
More of those shades. Lonii.
As soon as Kronos attacked, why, we retaliated. A cataclysm like you've never seen. Ripped half this land apart. Left all the Titans' armies high and dry.
They'll drown. Flourish. All right. Think I can finally go. I've returned. No blood where you're going.
See you, Logan. Love you, man.
I've little coin to trade. I can't.
Have you yet come to know Golden Apollo, niece? He's so well known and loved among the mortals that he had no choice but to involve himself in our most...
Come now, Uncle. I don't yield to pressure quite so easily. I just knew...
I grow strong. Show me the way. It's no use.
You run into a certain underworld button running about. You tell him I said hey? We've not collaborated much as before, what with everything of late.
Let's pick up the pace. Don't you yet recognize me, boy? Damn it. Time's almost up. This... No time to spare. You won't fail. How? Return to Shadow now.
I did not observe as much as I would have liked.
Man, this one of Haste is quite the beater.
Bad boy. Boys?
Hail, witch!
Princess, your father once was bearer of the fated list, you know.
A housewarming gift, my sister said. But Hades put it away until your brother unearthed it from the archives and started using it himself.
I know Zagreus sought our mother. Perhaps the fated list helped him succeed. Come to think, I wouldn't have even been born if he hadn't. Wait, how did you end up with the list after that?
It wasn't until rather recently. The Fates sent me to retrieve the list from your father's house. Kronos would be absent, they said. And they were right. For when I returned, they were gone.
That's when he got them.
Yes. I'm honored to accept this, Princess Melinoe. When the Fates first indicated that we'd meet, I asked them what I should expect, what you were like. Clotho smiled and simply said, "You'll see." I felt certain they were playing a prank.
You make me glad I don't have any sisters, Lord Moros. So, what would you have said in Clotho's place?
Oh! Perhaps I would have said, "She's a great witch and enchantress, the princess of the underworld, daughter to the goddess of spring and the lord of the dead. Though whatever you imagine her to be, she's more."
That's not bad. One, please.
Death to Kronos.
Nem, you care so much for mortal justice. Where's your passion for ours? Kronos took everything from us. You said we all should get what we deserve, right?
Well, that's the thing. If you knew anything about mortals, they had it better once, when Kronos ruled. Called it the Golden Age.
How splendid that must have been for them. If only Kronos could have been so generous with his sons and foster children. You think him being somewhat nice to some mortals makes up for what he did?
No. Look, what if this is what we deserve?
We deserve better than this, Nemesis. Living in shadows, denied our families. Don't you want justice for them? Fine. I thought I saw some movement by the fishing pier. A thorough investigation is probably in order, right?
Either that or rot here standing guard, right? Know what? Fine. I'll bite. Doubt anything else will. To have been born a fish. A life spent mucking about in the river of lamentation, only to be plucked out by you. What did they do to deserve this?
Shouldn't you be the one to know the answer to that? Perhaps it's the will of the fates that determines how we're born. Then you ensure we get our dues based on the choices that we make.
Be a lot easier if everyone was born on equal footing. But no one in my family thinks life's meant to be fair, other than me.
How can life possibly be fair, knowing there are creatures of all sorts, such as those dwelling in these waters?
We'd have to put a bit more structure into who decides how mortals are born, or how their souls come back to life. Topic for a different time. Think I saw a bit of movement over there. Make it a fair fight. See one down there. Caught one. Fair catch.
Sweet victory.
Gave them a fair shot, didn't we? Real battle of wits back there.
Just checking up on you. Here you are. A set of lures.
Hello.
Hey, Houston.
Hi, Cord.
Goddess.
Hey, friend.
Doing well. It seems your camera's frozen again.
Yeah. And I'm just not caring enough right now to
Found
fix it.
yourself a phantom lair in the fields, if my shades down there are still to be believed. Blood-sucking bastards. The phantoms.
How's
not the shades.
you been playing some Terraria?
Yeah, some other friend group
Don't such
started it
creatures
up,
usually
and it's a
stalk
bit
the
of a
surface in their
mess.
search of living prey?
Hmm.
They must go rather
Because
hungry
they
in the
have
underworld.
Calamity and For the Worthy on, so it's because that's what the type of difficulty they're used to playing with.
Alright,
So
so-
I'm definitely,
Better to ask them burn under the break of
I
day,
am
or
definitely
so they
feeling like
figure,
I'm just there
probably.
for the ride at this
Well,
point.
you know
Oh.
what they're after next you meet again.
Like I'm trying to do my best, but it's more of well, you already know I had issues with normal
want to get it.
Terraria and doing the boss fights with the controller shenanigans.
Yeah. And I'm guessing those are both really hard mods.
For the Worthy is base Terraria,
Visions of
Okay.
darkness.
but Calamity is a hard, adds
I
more
must not
difficulty
partake in
stuff
such
in
extravagances, for
in the
my
later
disciples
games.
are counting on
But
my
yeah.
clear-eyed counsel and undivided attention. But tell you what, I'm gonna save this one for later when I'm off, okay?
What you call an extravagance? It must be
I'm
nothing
so
compared to the
proud that we
luxuries of my
beat,
father's house. Yet you never want for
Master.
anything.
You know, we
Besides
meet
the
Master
occasional
Mode
hit
and we
or
beat the
two.
last guy. It was like supposed to be just a trial run just to make sure our portals work, but we still were able to beat it. That still makes
Yeah.
me happy thinking about it.
That's how we made sure it worked, was by beating it. Yeah.
Something's changed
Very
about that altar of yours recently, and you have been at it more and more, young
Ah,
man.
roll out.
Mayhaps awakened newfound
Take a
power there, or
Pokeball.
what?
Where are you, Owie?
Consecrated the ashes and gained insight into the potential of the Arcana
And as the
Commander.
first started rolling,
Requires a little moon dust
using
and a
roll
little
out on my
focus.
Uh,
That's the other way around.
you're playing the rogue.
Yep.
Moondust. Think the old broker started pawning off that.
torture.
I probably
gets
should.
involved. Yeah, that's fine.
And
Enjoying Hades too.
I am. This trial of pace
For
is
the
kicking my
realm.
butt though. All these
Something's happened.
time-based stuff is
Gotta go fast.
yeah, and you can't get, you gotta go fast, can't get hurt.
Illuminate my path.
But assume that friend looks like.
All right.
Like I also need to not get hit because if I get hit, my damage just goes
My ride
through the
across
whole.
sky tends to be quite a solitary one. I have my steeds to
Right.
speak to, yes, but it is not the same as when I have the opportunity to speak with you. The choice is yours.
All right, where is there? It is.
Lycaeans.
Ah,
Having a rough time.
yeah.
You're shining like the moon herself, my niece. Selene's aid, is it? Here I thought all she did was drive her pretty steeds over my ocean waves. She's dipping into other hobbies then.
The tides come in. Queen Lamia returns.
Oh man.
The ocean's fury.
I might actually, like, it's also a chance. Like, you just hope you get like the shop and stuff, so you can just run through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They've sealed me in.
And when they do that, where they give like 3 things. Meet Rude. At least the water does more damage than the.
No. Hear me, on my authority.
Oh.
Adequate.
All right. Okay, follow the leaves to the tree. Hit the tree.
Reveal my path.
Get his stuff. Ah. Yeah, I think water just flat out does more damage than days.
That sounds strange. What I remember from the first game, even in the first game, Poseidon had a bit of a solid base damage, but it was a lot of that knockback in CCO. So.
Okay, up there, the saloon. Oh, sweet. Good times frozen. Right into that thorn. Ah, gosh. It's going to be hard to beat Cerberus when they make me do a 3 or...
That should have done it.
I don't know if I will do this in a minute.
I believe in you.
Ah. Oh, what? You think that the slowdown time will also affect this whole time trial thing?
Only if.
Don't have much time. Need to recharge.
Yeah, I don't got it.
Out of time.
Yep. Come on. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Return to shadow. him now.
You failed this attempt. I was amused.
Perhaps that trial and I need a break.
Never.
What do I need? I'll take it. Take care then.
Our wards are holding fast. You always reminded me of your father, Millenoi, but lately you remind me of your mother. More and more. Concern for others that you sometimes show. It can be an exploitable weakness.
I would never put any such concerns ahead of the task, Headmistress.
See that you don't. Although my remark was not intended as admonishment, it was my honor to have known your family. Even if merely from the shadows.
They'll be avenged.
Well, I'm saying that the possibility exists, yes. Eternal vigilance is near impossible. Enemies have always exploited the lack thereof. I ever tell you of the old wooden horse trick?
The old wooden horse trick, yeah. Surely your reputation as the great tactician hinges on more than this one tale.
But classics ought to be retold. Though, if you'd rather, I have far more tales of trickery and valor. Take the Cave of the Cyclops.
Not Cave of the Cyclops.
The depths of chaos. Again. Already come this far?
Perhaps you should cease attempting this trial for now.
I'm ready for you. Let us together shine this night, O moon.
I felt a weight drawing me toward the crossroads recently, and realized it was the pitch black stone. So then it has awakened, almost like an eye itself, but far older than mine, and peering from the infinite abyss. Behold. The Twilight Curse is yours to use.
Do what?
Smackers.
I won't sink to calling him my father. We had it out with him before, a while back. Thought we had settled it for good. But we were young and foolish then.
Surging on.
How far have you got?
I'm being Kronos. It's one so far though.
I was gonna.
Sorry. What? How dare you get it? But I'll turn like that. What garbage is that?
Phantoms be gone.
Do that actually.
This way feels right. Lion ruin.
Can you follow the golden petals?
Flourish. Not now.
Yeah, we're not gonna make
Really
it.
got a hold of you already, Em. Quite the vantage point the Eye of Night has got. Always looking out for you and all of us. Her speeds are pretty quick as well.
That was my boon. That was all of them.
Oh, darn it. Yeah, I lost this. What?
In the name of Hades. You're all mired up again. Can't do it. Got to move.
I thought.
I don't think so. Return to Shadow now.
Its outcome was but one of many possibilities.
I keep bashing my head against that one.
I'm stubborn.
Cerberus can't see through his rage. He needs our help, Phrynos.
Hey.
Okay.
On the one hand, I really don't know what I did to deserve this, but on the other hand, I really don't care. It's mine now.
It most certainly is. And there's more in it for you if you keep on haunting this tent.
Oh.
Good evening.
Lord Moros, I wanted you to have this either way, though if you're not too busy at the moment, would you care to share it with me at the taverna? I know this is sudden, it's just I'm past due for a little break.
Princess Melinoe, it would be my pleasure. Would you please lead the way?
So it can be a lot, of course. I don't know what's the better source of motivation. Those completely certain I'll succeed in everything, or those completely certain that I'll fail.
I have the same thought pattern frequently. The Fates, they could anticipate the outcomes of my efforts and would chastise me sometimes for small mistakes I'd yet to make. It wasn't always as encouraging as intended.
Then where did you find the strength? Your responsibilities sound like they must have been a lot.
It all simply became a force of habit at some point. You practice a skill to a level of proficiency, then fear letting it go. Fear you'll never be as capable at other things.
I wouldn't have expected Doom himself to harbor such misgivings.
Well, perhaps I should have been born as fear. So then where do you think it comes from? Your source of motivation for your task?
I've decided it comes from the thought of finding more of this ambrosia out there. This is good.
I very much enjoyed your company, Princess. And thank you for the drink. I trust we'll have more opportunities like this.
I trust so too. Farewell. Headmistress is away.
Greetings. You be wary of the sorts you meet out there, all right? You find a live one gives you any trouble, you know where to hit them where it hurts.
I most certainly do. One more time. My loadout's changed.
I'll continue with this trial if that is your wish.
This horrid feeling, just a trick of the mind. They're blocking my path. Foes eliminated.
Your father Hades and I didn't always get along. A crusty older brother, I called him. Walter under the bridge now. Ah, how I miss his dour cheerlessness, my niece.
One left.
Come on. There it is.
Incoming. It's no use.
close enough myself. Hope he's still alright. Hope everyone's alright. We'll get them back.
Clear the way. The Phantom Lair. Need to recharge.
I lost this. I don't want to let it finish me.
What do you mean lost it? I still have over 3 minutes.
There's more time. I'm taking too long.
Return to Shadow now.
Expected outcomes can be disappointing nonetheless.
What happened there?
Oh, hey.
Hey, I've got these bath salts here that are more than enough for me, if you're not busy at the moment.
Mel, you know I like doing nothing. Sitting in the bathhouse with you? Well, that's gotta be the next best thing. So, shall we? Like being cooked in a cauldron, isn't it?
Don't you ever wonder how you used to be, Dora? When you were flesh and blood? I bet you were very beautiful.
What? Seriously? Is it because of my voice or because of my curves? Nah, you're just messing with me.
I am not. It's because of your confidence, I suppose. You're very self-assured. Some shades cower before me, but you and I always got on.
Well, some shades are total buffoons. Anyway, it doesn't really matter to me how I used to be. If I was happy about it, I figure I'd remember.
You think you've deliberately forgotten your past?
Yeah. Why else would I have forgotten everything? Probably took a couple swigs from the River Lethe and that was that. Clean slate.
The River of Forgetfulness. You think you were down in Elysium?
Maybe. Who knows? You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think I had a good time with you back there. Thanks, Mel.
I'll just clean this up.
Yeah? And just what do you think you're gonna do about it there, Nemi? Can't just have it out with me in the middle of your little crossroads.
Can't do anything about it here, but might run into you out there, snooping around. And then you won't get any special treatment. Just another target.
Nemesis, how could you be so cruel? You're my sister! We don't have to fight. And besides, what makes you think you'd ever catch me? You're too slow.
We'll see.
You'll see.
Ah, you're here.
Headmistress, have you always been so fond of beasts? It seems you would do anything for each other.
Beasts. Saddled with such an uncharitable name. Beasts are far more trusting than most any mortal or immortal I have met.
They make it seem so simple, don't they? To fully trust.
One knows where she stands with beasts, whether she is loved by them or doomed to sate their hunger. Whether the gods were so dependable.
Run into anything bad whilst you're out there, you come talk to me about it. Chances are I've seen it, fought it, otherwise gotten past it, and can offer some advice.
Definitely. Again. Only temporary.
I have eternity for these attempts, do you?
Should be able to revive that bow. No, you don't.
The world's been through worse times than this, cousin. So I'm told, at least. I've not seen anything this bad. Still, it's nothing we can't handle, right?
Brilliant as always, cousin. All you lot against me? Each time. Can never get accustomed to this light.
In your father's house, and I had the pleasure of accompanying her. One day, she didn't show up. I knew right then and there something was off.
I grow strong, grow golden once again.
Alright, I'm gonna head off for now. Have fun with Hades. Alright. Also, don't know. Might be muted.
Oh, my Lanta, I was talking to you. Thanks for saying something. Yeah, I muted because Robin called. But yeah, I'll be on tonight.
Alright.
Hope to see you then.
You too.
All right. Love you, man. Peace.
Not right now. In the name of Hades. They won't budge. I'm not afraid of you.
All right, Tara, dip in 12 minutes, my friend.
I do believe the possibility exists that you succeed.
Oh, blasted beast.
Well, look at you.
Such pitiable offerings as this are hardly worth my notice, witch.
No, but seriously, thanks. Nobody ever gets me anything. Besides you, I mean. That's nice, you know?
It's nice for me as well. Having you here as company means a lot, so it really is the least I could do.
Whew. Thought you'd never snap out of it. You okay?
Yes, thank you, Dora. I hope I didn't cause you any concern. Have you been by my side here all this time?
What, me? No, I'm just out for a breather.
But you don't even breathe.
Cut it out.
Hello. Your family has been of keen interest to the Fates for some time, hasn't it? Ever since Kronos learned he was doomed to be usurped by his own children.
Oh. Smart move. That's cake, so. I do.
A prophecy that was only fulfilled because Kronos learned of it and desperately tried to prevent it from coming to pass. Perhaps I'd have an easier time with the fated list if I tried to thwart it at every turn.
I wouldn't second guess too much. Later, your father and uncles drew lots to divide up their rule of the world. By chance, Your father wound up with the least desirable part, didn't he?
Perhaps the underworld best suited him. So now it's my turn to see that the will of the Fates is done. If they even planned this far ahead.
They were captured, so this can't all be according to their plan. But they are counting on your aid.
I appreciate their confidence.
Recovered. Grow not attached to such a place as this. You belong within the luxury of your great father's house.
As you say, Headmistress.
Oh, Mother. Why do you keep doing this? You won, okay? You beat me. Before you even started. Last thing I need now is your sympathy.
Nemesis, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. We're surrounded by enemies out there. Do we really need more?
You're not my enemy, Millenoi. Just go.
Bye, Nem.
Even Mother Nyx's weapons favor you. Always thought the Nocturnal Arms would wake for me first. Guess the Fates had other ideas.
I think the Fates had you covered. You're the bearer of Stygius, vanquisher of heroes, gods, and titans.
Seems it was due for a long break.
New assignments. One more time. Here already.
Perhaps you should cease attempting this trial for now.
Never.
There's the bell. Enough of this.
Once wily Kronos took your father's house, he mustered forces to besiege us here. We can't see anything down in that underworld, so he plain caught us out. But still, we held him off.
They'll drown. Down, O moon. Lend me your light.
The sea god's strength already flows through you. Poseidon holds that he alone controls the tides. For this I cannot blame him. He does not know or understand my influence. Please make your choice. On this phase, you may once again direct the lunar ray.
should have done it. No need to engage. Flourish. Stinging thorns.
Never was particularly close with your father, but I guess neither were you. Always struck me as a gloomy sort, though he did seem to care a lot about his own. He'll get his justice yet.
Two left. Lord Charon will want this.
Yeah, there's no way. You got it.
No! No! Return to Shadow now.
An inconclusive result in our experiment.
All right, friends, I gotta go. I'll be back on tonight with some Helldivers 2. Hope to see you then.
Oh, it was like a vivid dream.